What up? What up? We back. Episode, I believe it's 142. If I'm wrong, refer to the podcast title. But we're back. I'm back from some international travel, the lens of Nippon, and I come back to you, a humbled and a enlightened man. At least until the vacation novelty wears off in a couple of days when I'm no longer jet lagged. But we had a lot to catch up on. It's been a little while. This has been one of my longest vacations away, and while I am still exhausted from it, it was a very restorative experience. Not that any of you are asking. Anyway, what do we talk about this week? So I know I always say this, but it's often true, but more this time than usual because, like I said, we had a lot to talk about. So Gundam GQuX, we talked about that. Kowloon generic romance, talked about that. Lazarus, big hitter, talked about that. Grant gives a very comprehensive spring anime review. There's about 37 of them. I'm kidding, there's like five or six, but they're in the episode description. I give my completely spoiler free, like I'm very serious about this. I don't touch anything with a 10-foot pole, but I give my very spoiler free and very brief review of my experience reading the Jujutsu Kaisen manga in its entirety. We get quite deep on The Last of Us season two. There have been some pretty major episodes of that. We give a very healthy spoiler warning, so you need not worry, but we go quite in depth on that before wrapping up with some quick hitters like Daredevil Born Again series, The Pitt, Sinners, the movie currently in theaters, Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan, and some light news on superhero stuff and whatnot. Feels really great to be back. Thank you so much for listening and waiting. And I think I said at the end of the episode that I was going to plug our socials because I forgot to during the episode. So this is me doing that now. Follow us, Part-Time Otaku Podcast, on Instagram, TikTok, wherever you listen to podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music. Subscribe in those places. We're here bi-weekly. Go ahead and do that and enjoy the show. Ooh, hey there, Grant.
Hey, Dave.
What's up, buddy?
Just glad to see that beautiful face again.
We're back, man. We're back.
20 plus days of just texting it doesn't do it for me. I need to hear the voice, need to see the face. So glad you're back.
And across like a 13-hour time difference, it proved particularly tricky, but I'm back.
It honestly though, Dave, it worked out very well for me. Like obviously, like you're up in the time of your life there, but like you were kind of going to bed when I was getting up.
Yep.
Early. So like there was like a good like hour and a half window every morning, an evening for you, and then the inverse when I was roughly going to bed.
Yep.
You were kind of like waking up. So there was like really good like peak windows of like, hey, you're waking up messaging time. So like it worked out really well for you being gone.
We caught each other more than I thought we would, because like you don't know sometimes like. With the time difference, are we gonna miss each other at every possible moment? But like, yeah, you're up early, and then like we're doing dinner and whatnot. So yeah, it all kind of worked out.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, I had a blast. I feel like honestly, like
for the listener or viewer, I was in. I know. In case you didn't listen to the last one, I was in Japan. But keep going.
It was fun, like like I had wondered of like like you see stuff in Japan like on our algorithms like every day, and it's like it feels like close but so far away.
Yeah,
and yours and Sam's like very very like constant like up to date. Again, asking we were very much asking for it as much as we could, but like it definitely felt the most like genuine experience for us being here, like seeing you guys. Like I felt like we were there too in a way, like just because like the closeness between you guys and us. So it was a lot of fun. But good, it was a good way to experience it vicariously. So it
was fun filming all the content, and like it's like a fun little. It's a fun experience seeing these things in real life after so much anticipation and whatnot. Highly, highly restorative experience. Like the best kind of culture shock I've experienced. Wild place. Definitely somewhere I think that we'll go back again. I think the only thing, if there's one nitpick, it's like 3 weeks was maybe a touch long. Like,
oh yeah.
Well, it's just we're homesick. We miss the cats. We miss like the routine. Like, 9 hotels in 3 weeks. Like that's a lot of like moving around. You get tired. It's like hard to have a lazy night when you're on the go so much.
Sure.
And you just miss the comfort of home and the routine and all that. Like as you know, like I'm very routine oriented. I was like, I just can't wait to have the same fucking smoothie in my own house every morning. You know what I mean? By
I
the
want to
end
hear
of
the
it.
obnoxiously loud coffee machine going off at the same time every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I know you did.
Yeah, little
Yeah,
things.
that's funny.
But no, it was a blast.
Right on, man. Glad you had fun.
So we've got some content to get through.
We got a lot of stuff to get through.
What do you want to start on?
Do you want me to do like the quick blast of like anime spring preview stuff? Like I know there's a couple that you may or may not have checked out. I know there's some ones that I for sure didn't even bring up to you. I know you weren't going to watch or have the time to watch rather.
Yeah.
So I can get through some of those and then we can get to the ones that we did or you did watch. So did you check out GQuX?
Gundam
Yeah.
GQuX. GQuX.
I think GQuX is. Yeah, I know it's very.
I think
strange.
it's GQuX.
I really hope they kind of iron out why it's called that. If not, just left in the abyss. That'd be funny too.
I did.
But,
so this is the Gundam series that's like co-created or co-written or.
I think I did a little bit of reading on
by
it.
the Neon Genesis Evangelion.
I think there's inspiration. It's a part of his studio is working on it. Like one of his head guys,
right,
underneath Anno is working on it. But like within the first like 2 episodes, like it's like oh yeah, like
you can see the influence.
I can see some. I think style is very much Ava.
Yeah.
Kind of like that Gynax feel in a lot of ways, like just based on the movements, like the really long strides. Like I think that was like some of the biggest pulls from the pilot.
I did. For the record, I think I said yes, but yes, I've seen 3 episodes of it.
I've only seen 2, so I am behind on the 2 recent ones. But did you just want to jump into that? You want to talk about that? All right. So what'd you think?
I think
first real Gundam.
Yeah, first real
series.
Gundam I've seen, especially modern. And yeah, I like it. I never went back and watched it, but there was that Gundam
The Witch from Mercury.
Yeah, and I remember an issue that I had with that. Not an issue, but just something I noticed was like they were really cutting in between like plot points, like this set of characters, and then that set of characters, and I was like, "What's the relationship here?" This is similar.
Oh yeah.
And
we'll iron some of that out for sure.
So like to your point earlier, it's very vibey. I really like the animation. I like the world building. I'm enjoying it. I will continue to watch.
Okay. Right on.
But yeah, like there's definitely some confusion. Like I don't know like about the world building. Am I supposed to know who is who and all these references to these factions? Am I supposed to know that? And then also, like, I don't think this is a spoiler, but like the episodes are not necessarily in the order of occurrence. So it's not necessarily linear.
There is some confusion. So there was a couple of weeks ago or months ago, there was a like a movie, like a theater release similar to like Mugen, or not Mugen, similar to like Blue Lock was an episode brought to the big screen kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know how the like Swordsmith Village with Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen and whatnot. So in the timeline, like there's various like strands of Gundam lore and history, but this story is an alternate to the original, like the Universal Century story. So the second episode where you see like the guy in the the mask and kind of coming in, so that is the original. That's a remaking of the original series.
Oh,
so
because I was like, he seems kind of familiar.
Yeah, he's like a very iconic like
character.
Char, I believe his name is.
Yeah.
The Red Comet.
Yes. He had the Red Gundam.
Yes. So in the original, so anyway, I watched the pilot of this, and then I went and did the reading, and I was like, oh, this is like, it was like, the worst thing you can tell someone is like, you need to go watch like 24 episodes of a TV show from the late 70s, early 80s, like that. But there is 3 movies, so I watched all 3 movies.
Jesus.
Which they're like almost 2 hours a piece, but like they sum up. It's like a compilation of the original series.
Okay.
So like the second episode is just an inverse of what happened in the original series, where in the original series they show up there same way, but they don't steal like the Gundam. Like that's kind of just laying there. Someone mans that and fights him. So like this is like a reverse story of like the colonists from the space colonists when they invade. So essentially they win the war in this timeline, whereas they don't in the original series.
Okay.
So it does help having some history of the original Gundam to kind of do that. But I think once it gets past that, I'm not sure what episode 3 is or 4. The most recent episode just came out today, I think.
Yeah.
So it's going to cut back to like the current time of this series, where I think it just helps. Like, again, like, even just describing, like, this is such a mouthful. This is kind of convoluted and complicated. But at the very least, I'm in it for the vibes.
Yeah.
I mean, for the cool fights. It is like a little, it's not a gripe, but it was like, I think we were spoiled with Witch of Mercury, where all the fights, all the mobile suit and the Gundam fights were 2D.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of like there's some like blending of 2D and 3D animation, and
some is quite good.
It looks amazing, but like we were
really
spoiled with Witch from Mercury. But I don't know. I love it. The tone. Like, there's a shot in the pilot where the two girls are up on the roof, and there's like a panning shot of the city, of like the colony.
Yeah.
Of like kind of the transition from like day to nighttime, or the way that, like, they turn off, because they have to, or make their own like sunlight and whatnot. Yeah. But
what were
just so cool.
The movies you watched, were those from like the 70s and 80s?
Yep.
And they're with the original, what's it, Char?
Char, yeah. So
I wonder if I should watch it, because I liked that character, and I was like, oh, this is pretty exciting.
Oh, dude, after having watched them, I was like, I understand like why Gundam is as big as it is. Like, if this was what was coming out in
and it's
80s,
all like hand-drawn old school stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Because obviously.
Yeah, so there's 3 movies. They're compilations of the first season. And I think
Are they on Crunchyroll?
Yep.
Oh, dude, maybe I spin that up. That kind of sounds like a fun.
It was really good. I think for like, just for the purposes of like kind of being like more aware of kind of, I think the first one for now would be like a good watch.
Yeah.
But like, even in the pilot episode, like, there's that green spaceship that they're in. Yeah. That's like the main, it's called White Base in the original Gundam, and that's like the main character's like, kind of command center. So just guys to show like, the enemies of, or the invaders from the original series now have it, and like it's just really cool how they, after having watched it and going back and rewatching the second episode, I was like, oh, that's really cool how they kind of flip things around.
Yeah,
I'm sure like OG Gundam fans watch this new series, and just having something new on on the original story was probably just like amazing.
Right.
Like, it was, it's so much fun.
That is context I didn't know about any of that. So
that's helpful. I didn't bring it up when I told you to watch it, just because I was like, I didn't want to scare you.
No, I don't blame you. That would have been a weird, like a difficult message to send.
Yeah, but
sometimes you just got to watch the thing and ask questions later. And like, if you're curious, if you're listening to this and you're curious, should I try this Gundam thing? Like, I would just watch it. There's 4 episodes out now, and it's kind of fun enough that I think you could just spend them. I watched them basically all sequentially on the plane, and I was like, this is pretty fun.
Yeah.
It's great. That's like one of the things about pilot season that I'm sure like we're going to get to talking to, is like, sometimes it's fun to be a little bit behind and be like, I'm not just going to try one episode and then wait a week and try another and see if I like it. Like, it's nice to binge 2 or 3 at a time and you'd be like, okay, I'm on this.
It's the old school, anime, the rule of 3, right? Like, it's, you want to give it that 3rd episode just to see, where the turn on the bend. But so Gundam GQuX. I don't know. I just, the character design is very different.
Yeah.
But the background and the city, like I don't know, just the vibe, like it just oozes cool, where like Witch of Mercury wasn't like this. It wasn't, you didn't really see the inner workings of the cities. It was the space station, it was the school, it was the deep space. It didn't have like the normal life that, but again, like, just, they really hit home like how brutal the world is, and like they just decimated the city when they're in that pile, like it's children of war, right? Like it's child soldiers, and a very common recurring theme in the Gundam universe. So
still never been able to find Gundam Wing, like the dark one.
Yeah. I think that's on Crunchyroll.
I think maybe I need your help, like literally like an idiot handler for me to like, because there's just so many results on Gundam.
Yeah,
it's kind of overwhelming to be like, okay, I don't really know where to start here. Dude, remember like, okay, no, this is not related at all. Never mind. I was gonna say like, do you remember like I tried to build that Ava build kit and I literally didn't get past step 1. Like I didn't assemble a single part. I couldn't even find part 1. I was like, I think I just need like an idiot handler to like guide me through this, because I don't even know. We should have like a night of like assembly.
Here's what we do. The GQuX model kits have not come out yet.
Yeah.
when they do, we go and get some high grade, the low, like just the low versions, the $15 kits.
Sure.
We sit there, what was the one you like from, from the series or whatever, and we just hammer those out, get used to it, and then when you're ready, you go back to
That
it.
would be fun. There. I could do that.
Yeah. I'm, well,
make a mental note. It's a good idea.
Yeah, I was out this weekend and I saw it. Like, I just came upon like a huge like stack.
That's a live stream idea. Sorry.
Here we go. But there's just like a bunch of like Witch from Mercury kits, and I'm just like, oh my god, like I could buy all of it. I would love to have one of every mobile suit from this series. I just loved it so much.
Dog, I didn't buy a single figurine from Japan, and I'm like both filled with regret and then also not. Like, we were so.
They all come over here anyways, though.
Yeah, there's a couple that like the pricing. I found one store where I was like, okay, this feels like the store that like maybe locals go to or something.
Okay.
And like just the prices were somehow super reasonable. But like like even for a figurine this big, like the box is this big, and like space is at such a premium, and I was like, there's just no. Yeah, I don't know. It was a nightmare.
We had gotten
first world problem.
No, I know, but it just goes to show like the trickery of packaging. Like, we had bought Kryn a One Piece standee for Christmas, a figurine rather, and a big enough box, whatever, like 6-7 inches tall and about 4 inches wide, and then it was a lot of packaging, and it was just like a little
That's
shrink,
funny, yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's so weird. Like, again, but there was just so much protection around the figurine. I was like, I guess that makes sense, but yeah. Did you check out Kowloon Generic Romance?
I did, but only the first episode.
Okay, that's okay.
But I think the pilot is definitely like leaves enough of an impression that we can kind of talk about it.
Huge impression. I thought it was for between Mobile Suit and Kowloon are probably like my big standouts for the season.
Yeah.
I do have a new it snuck up on me. I checked a new one out last night and it blew me away. We'll talk about that in a bit, but I don't know. Again, talking about vibes, like this Kowloon Generic Romance show is, like, how do I put it? Like, it's so like 90s coded. Just like based on like the attire and Dave, like with headphones on, listening to this show, the few episodes that I've seen, the soundtrack is phenomenal on this show. It's one of the big standouts for me in a long time. Really, 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 really good music. But no, like it's like it in a way. It reminds me of Summertime Rendering in a lot. Like there's
You're not off there. It's or that
it feels less sinister.
Like that Heavenly Delusion show as well.
Yes.
It's not, at least so far. I'm one episode in. I was going to say it's not that far out. But then again, there's a floating thing in the sky.
Yeah.
And by the end of the pilot, we're questioning the nature of their reality. So maybe it is that weird.
It is. There's a bit of a turn at the end of the second episode, which I don't love.
It also gives me like Prisoners. Not Prisoners. Remember that Denis Villeneuve movie with Enemy.
Yeah,
and maybe that's reaching. Again, I'm on one episode.
I can see that, because even then, by the end of the second episode, they don't, like, the mystery is still there and it's plodding along. But there was like a couple jumps of like, oh, okay, maybe like. It's not really spoiling anything, but like they kind of like the obvious questions you have at the end of the first episode of like, oh, is this like an amnesia or like memory wipe, or like is she an android?
Like all the twin. What could it
all
be?
This stuff. And like they like the show and like the characters, like they're very like openly like, is it a situation like this? And it's like, oh, like okay, so like there is like some cognition and self-awareness,
which you never get in these types of stories.
No, you don't. But the interesting thing is too, there is a little bit of there's some mixed feelings about the show right now based on the source material. Apparently, even within the first episode, like breakneck speed pacing, really, really, really kind of speeding up events. And then I went into, when I saw the second episode, a couple of weeks ago, same thing. I was like, oh, it's going even faster.
Oh, really?
So because I think they're trying to fit into a 12 episode season, and I guess the consensus is like the manga is like one of the better sci-fi romance mysteries, like for that kind of genre. So it is a little disheartening to hear that, because I did feel the second episode really went fast. Of like, oh, this is too much too quick.
I was kind of surprised that we already had a reveal at the end of the pilot.
Yes,
like a story reveal, and I was like, oh, like you know, maybe they're just really trying to set up the main
I
thread.
thought
But
I thought they were trying to get the hook in. That's what I thought they
yeah,
were doing. And then after watching the second, I was like, oh yeah, this is fast. I think this is just the speed that they're going
interesting.
at.
Also, one thing like that like bears uh, noting, I think, in case anybody goes to watch this, just because it caught me off guard. There's like quite a bit, and I'll be careful with my phrasing. There's more like fan service than I anticipated.
Yeah, there was.
And I was just like, what am I? Grant knows I'm not all about this, but like there must be something to it. And then to be fair, I was like, okay, there's something to it.
It's everything around that.
Yeah.
It was like,
And also
like,
romance is in the title of the, you know what I mean? So like, you're after something. But,
after having after having watched 3 episodes, there is definitely like picture 3 paths, and it kind of feels like, like like 1 foot is on each line of the 3 paths. Like,
sure,
you can feel it really trying to keep it steady in all kind of 3 genres, like, like the mystery, the romance, and then kind of the, I don't know, just like the surrealness of it,
sure,
because like there is like a painting picture feeling to it. Like you can't always trust everything. Like, like there's a shot in, it does really, like it's a really fun background watch, because like in the second episode there was like a door, and I'm like, why would there be a door that looks like that in this setting? And like they introduce the character, and then they're like, okay, now do I not trust this character? And it just, there's, like I said, if you watch the second episode, by the end, once you reach the end, I think you'll probably be in a similar situation to me, where like I don't where they're setting up the villains and the sinisterism that like was underlying kind of feels like pretty obvious by the end of the second episode.
Okay.
I was like, that would have been nice, like in episode 4 or 5 maybe. I'm gonna watch it. I think it's beautiful. Just the city itself, and the just the alleyways, and the apartment, like it's so funny, like the very, like the big fan servicey moment of the first episode when she's like painting the apartment.
Yeah,
I was like, when have we ever watched anything where there's just such attention to detail of like doing a whitewash of someone's moving, and like a new tenant's coming in and preparing the apartment. It just felt very weirdly grounded with, again, all the the fan service stuff kind of like kind of designed into it. But I don't know, it gave me, like, you remember Chainsaw Man when Aki's like prepping his day?
Yeah,
it was
which
like a total,
ended up being like is the anime only.
Yeah.
But it was fucking awesome. I love.
But it was like similar vibes to that.
Like, that's on a lot of like ASMR compilations. No, because it was that good of a scene.
Yeah. So I don't know. Kowloon generic romance. I'm gonna give it the whole way through. I'm really curious to see where it ends up, what zigzags we have. But
yeah, I think regardless
vibes alone, I love the vibes.
Regardless of our talk, my intention is to watch the next 2 episodes at least, and then see how I feel.
Yeah, number 2, the end. I was just like, oh, that's like not a great last 5 minutes, in my opinion. But I did like the 3rd episode. So
okay, there might be one more that we've both seen.
Okay,
I did manage to squeeze in the pilot of Lazarus.
I did not. So tell me
about that. That's wild.
I saw the dub. I saw the dub and it spooked me out.
The dub?
Yeah, it's dubbed only right now.
Really? Not for me. On Crunchy?
Lazarus is on Crunchyroll?
Oh, no, it's not. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know where I watched it. I don't know where I watched it. But I watched a subbed version. So I don't know.
Damn.
Weird.
I watched it on Adult Swim. My only option was dubbed.
Oh,
and
that's a pain,
I was like, oh, this is like not the, like, there's like an opening. I got like 4 minutes in, and it's like the setting up of the world, and I was just like, I cannot even take this very dire situation seriously. It was like a very goofy reading.
So funny how much it changes it, huh?
Yeah, it's huge. Absolutely. I was just like, I need to find an alternative.
I know this sounds like super obvious, but it's like we have to find a way. Not you and I, but like the industry needs to find or severely upskill. And I'm trying to say this like not with the intent of being like overly critical, but like it does seem like we are leaving money on the table with like the quality of translation work that is happening in anime.
Sure.
Like when you like hear or read like the faithful subs from like something like Attack on Titan, and then you watch what like they turn that into in the dub, you're like, what the fuck? Like they're kind of, I don't want to say they're ruining it, but they're really like,
well, Well, it's just, you know, like I know
watering it
this.
down.
I know this is like the go-to argument of every sub warrior out there of like, you know, you can't feel the energy's not matching, you know, the emotion's not there, but like that is 100% it. Like,
Yeah, I don't know.
you know what I mean? Like I remember out of curiosity one time, what was it? Shoot, blanking on it. Oh no, it was One Piece. I was just curious of like, oh, what do they all sound in English? And I was like, this does not like the show itself is funny and silly in its own way, but like it's also like very grounded in its own rules. And I was like, this feels like absolute silliness. Like this does not match even the tone that it already provides. Weird, you know, right? Like just
because there is the argument of like, oh, I've heard Goku and now I can't hear anyone else's Goku. That's fine, but that's more of a preference thing. I'm talking more about like the quality of the translation.
Yeah,
it's just it's literally just like hamstrung. I'm not saying that's the case for Lazarus because I didn't even listen to the dub, but like too often.
To defend our point, its biggest complaint openly is how atrocious the dub is.
Really, that's funny. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, there needs to be like a better industry standard or best practice to follow or something. And like I don't want to like be this guy. But like it is like worth noting, like the AI tools in this space have come so far in such a short amount of time that like maybe look into that.
Yep.
Okay, so I'll just briefly say, did you ever finish Cowboy Bebop?
Oh yeah,
you did. Yeah,
I loved it. Loved it.
So like Grant, like it's like I would say it's a spiritual successor to that, and it like its pilot feels like a Cowboy Bebop like love letter. Like the pilot is extremely similar to Cowboy Bebop. Maybe not extremely, but like there's a lot.
Similar beats.
Yeah. Now it could go a completely different way than how Cowboy does, but I just mean like the action, the music, the overall direction. It's like more performative and like I'd say like more fancy than Cowboy Bebop's pilot, which is saying something because I think Cowboy Bebop had a really dope pilot.
That is a good pilot.
But anyway, like I think this is we got to figure out the Adult Swim thing and where I watched it and whatnot, and get you a sub copy because like I'm gonna be watching this one for sure.
Well, it was like one of our most anticipated for years now. Like this was announced like 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, and I will tell you like I'm a little bit nervous just because it reminds me of that just the story to how it it eventually finally arrived. What was that? Was it Uzumaki?
Oh yeah.
It's just like it's kind of
like
similar,
the Junji, you know, or like the
Kamui. It's just
that was the other Stileski joint.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's similar in like highly anticipated, big team, delay, finally comes out, strong start. Like I was really impressed with this pilot, and like I think there's a couple more out now, and like
there's 3 or 4.
I really hope that they keep this level of quality because you can't come out and hit a couple dingers. There's nothing worse than that, and then just. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And being like, well, we had a deadline, you know. So I just hope that's not the case because the pilot was promising, and I really want to like this show and have something like this on the docket that like is consistently good because that would be really dope. So I hope they maintain.
We'll figure it out. I want to see it.
Yeah.
Should I just run through a couple pilots? So the quick ones. Sword of the Demon Hunter. It's so funny, like it kind of has some similar beats to Demon Slayer. It's not 1-to-1. It's really cool because it has like an hour-long pilot.
You mentioned this.
They really try to set up the world. I guess the conceit is there's a priestess who has some association to like a fire goddess, and there's always one, and there's always they always have like a sentinel, like a protector.
Yeah.
Buddy falls in love with her. It's all kind of hidden or whatever. Long story short, the village gets destroyed. People are affected in various ways. He becomes tainted with demon blood, and it has now become I don't know if you'll watch it. Like it's kind of a hard sell for you, but like it becomes like a tale of history. Of like his journey, like he's now seeking revenge for the death of somebody, and because he has this demon blood based on like his last fight that he had, he now lives forever like a demon, and it's like a journey from like Edo period Japan or even further back to like modern day. Like the pilot ends with like modern day Japan.
And that's in the pilot.
all that's in the pilot, setting it up, and like it's such a
Oh, you said it is like an hour long, right?
yeah. So like
Is there more than that out?
yeah, there's like 4 or 5 episodes. I think it was the first show to come out this season, so I think it came out at the end of March, probably like the second to last week of March. So it's been chugging along for a little while there, but it's really cool. It's kind of like, again, I bit the bullet and I got High Dive to watch it because it's on there, but it's just different enough from Demon Slayer, even with all like the demon powers, and like it looks really good. Like the Sakuga moments like really explode, and then it reminds me a lot of Revenger, not narrative wise and like story beat wise, but like just kind of like
that was a fun one.
It's like sitting at a 7.5 animation wise, and then like when but like this one when it dials in, it's like, oh whoa, like there's some budget here,
some talent.
So if anyone has a High Dive subscription, or if you know however you watch it, Sword of the Demon Hunter is definitely worth checking out. To Be Hero X. To Be Hero X. It is a spiritual successor to a show called To Be Hero from a few years ago.
Okay.
This is a Japanese Chinese cross joint there coming together. It's like the animation of Arcane. Okay? So it's this whole world where superheroes are essentially like gifted their powers like celestially by like the greater consensus. Like if there's a lot of like hope and trust in a person, they get powers. And it works the opposite for villains. You know, the more fear there is and the more fearful they become, the stronger they become.
And just like this is like determined by the divine.
Just like the balance of the universe, I guess. Like that's just how. So it's very it's weird. It feels very like it feels like The Boys. You know how like there's all this like there's like media coverage and there's like it's all about like
the world is kind of shaped around. It's part of the culture.
Yeah, exactly. And like that's just how they get stronger and stronger because there's so much focus on them. There's rankings.
Sure.
And anyway, so this guy is a like a low level marketing. Part of the marketing team for the number one hero, and his boss hates his pitch and he gets like fired, and it kind of looks like the guy's gonna kill himself, and then the number one hero just shows up out of nowhere and does kill himself. And so this guy looks just enough like this number one hero where the media team behind this hero just like dye his hair, put him in like in the costume, and like they pitch him and like push him out to the world, and like people don't know the difference, so like he kind of gets the powers. It's very very strange,
peculiar story.
It's kind of really cool.
Does this all happen in the pilot?
This all happens in the pilot. And so there's this cool thing where I think the Chinese studio does almost all the like the Arcane style animation, and then whenever there's like they're hitting backstory or they're introducing a new character, it cuts to a different every episode has been various Japanese studios. They're coming with a different art style to tell those backstories. So there's like a good it's like a really really crazy
collaborative effort.
It feels like a multimedia project. Like it's the music changes and like just the animation styles and kind of the beats and the speed of the episode. Dave, it's worth checking the pilot out. Like I didn't want to.
It's on Crunchyroll.
It's on Crunchyroll. I think you'll really like it. So that's To Be Hero X.
Regular length?
Yeah, 30-minute. Yeah. Witch Watch, just a really fun Shonen Jump rom-com.
Witch Watch.
About witch girl comes back from her training. She needs a familiar, so coincidentally the dude that she grew up with is like a demon, like an Oni. So she chooses him as a familiar. The contract's been signed. He's gonna like he has to like kind of protect her kind of thing. Okay. It's just like it's like a gag manga brought to life. It's just really fun, really really silly.
Okay.
So and then I guess the one of the other things too, My Hero Academia Vigilantes came out.
Oh yes, this I've heard about.
So fun little update. I don't know if I told you this, but Corinne has read all of My Hero Academia.
How dare she, dude?
She ripped through it, dude.
You and I have been at this for years, and she's got spoilers in her hands now.
I told we were in the car one day. She's like, "Don't worry, I won't spoil." I'm like, "You better not," because I've been like in the trenches for 10 years now.
Yeah, and we don't even like it, and we haven't been spoiled. So she better not.
Like I talked to her on the Friday.
So fun.
She's like, "Yeah, I'm at like chapter like I don't know, like fucking like two
3011 or whatever.
Well, no, it was like in 3 days she had ripped through like 150, 200 chapters, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Did you enjoy that?" She's like, "I loved every second of it." I'm like, all right, you right. But I gotta say, Dave, I love this Vigilante show. It takes. It's like, it's so funny because like you and I are so quick to like give them props for like they introduce a new character, they feel fully fleshed and all this stuff.
Yep.
They strip all that out. There's a couple like, hey, oh, you remember that guy? We know this guy.
Yep.
It's so street level and so small so far. It feels like I can get to know these characters more, and I'm not juggling like, like planet, like extinction level events
right
in my show. Like it's just like there's a drug on the streets, and
is that a manga written by the same guy?
No, it was commissioned out, but it was like, given by his approval. Someone else wrote it, and you can tell because the writing is not the same.
Well, I was about to say, maybe a fresh set of eyes on this. Just take the IP and...
Yeah. And I like the so the animation, it really kind of, in the first few episodes, more so, and it's kind of like petered out a little bit, but it's still around. They really hit home, like, the comic book feel. Like, it kind of feels like Spider-Man versus, like, a Superman story, which is like my hero being Superman, and this kind of feels more like street level, kind of. But I really like the main character. It's just like a silly quirk that like finds the beauty in it, and like his version of All Might is like hilarious. Like, he's just
All Might's present in that?
No. But like, well, he like the main character, like he's just an All Might stan, but like essentially the guy that takes him under his wing and like tries to teach him to be or the guy that turns him into a vigilante is this guy. I don't think he has a quirk. He just like he literally calls himself Knuckle Duster, and he just beats the shit out of people in the street. Like he's like great value Batman, has none of the smarts. He's just attacking people. He's like, yeah, like if they fight back,
or just commit assault.
No,
my talent is committing assault.
It's surprisingly like really funny and kind of like flies in the face of the silliness of My Hero. Like it's so funny that
it's a little self-aware maybe.
It kind of just goes to show like the mangaka of My Hero like to approve all this kind of. It's I don't know. I think it kind of shows that like
self-awareness.
I think so. So I as a My Hero lover hater, I think you would enjoy Vigilante for 100% what it is and what it's not trying to be anything else. It is street level stuff, and it's very grounded. Well, in the My Hero sense.
Perhaps I'll give it a spin. When is the final season scheduled? Is that this year?
October. Yeah.
Okay, so fall. Not bad.
It's soon, imminently. And finally, I'll give you some time to breathe or to speak.
Yeah.
This completely, I knew it was coming, and I saw the autoplay on Netflix kind of threw it at me last night, and I was kind of like, I beg your pardon. I jumped into it. It's called Yaiba Samurai Legend. This is a remake of an anime from the 80s. It's the same guy. It's made, or the original property is made by the Detective Conan. Are you familiar with that?
No.
Again,
I can picture the poster in my head.
Yeah, one of the biggest anime manga series of all time. Still ongoing. It's up there with One Piece and like Doraemon, One Piece, and Detective Conan, like on the same level. So Wit Studio made this. And it feels like, I don't know who it is director-wise, but it feels like it's the Attack on Titan team making it.
Yeah.
Because the animation is, it's a silly little, jungle kid. Him and his dad have been out in the jungle for probably a whole kid's life. By silly circumstance, they end up in the city. Kid has to it's like watching a Tarzan story, like George of the Jungle. It's like George of the Jungle, but samurais. And kid's a kendo master, and his goal is to fight stronger people, and he just wants to get better. It's just like a silly, fun action shonen, but the animation from the second the episode starts to the ends is at a 15 the entire time.
Jeez.
It is dialed. It's crazy dialed in, Dave. Like, this is like
Yaiba Samurai Legend.
Yeah,
on Netflix.
Yeah.
Where so let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Of the ones I haven't seen, I've got Sword of the Demon Hunter, To Be Hero X, Witch Watch, MHA Vigilante, Yaiba Samurai Legend. Like, what's your number one draft pick out of those? For you, not for me.
I enjoy Yaiba, like, genuinely from front to back was like
fucking
I'm watching every week. To Be Hero X, I think just based on that pilot alone, I think you would love that. So I think
One of those. Give it a spin.
I would love for you like just watch the pilot of To Be Hero.
Yeah.
Just see what I'm talking about, the creativity and the uniqueness of it. But I think Yaiba is just like that's right up our alley.
Interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
it's Yaiba's now my Saturday morning. Hey, let's watch some silly action anime. But yeah. I was just kind of blown away. I had no expectations.
I haven't even heard of that.
I knew it was coming, and I had seen it like the online, like just the new key art and this and that. I didn't think anything of it, and all it took was a Netflix autoplay to be like, boom, this is for you, bud. This is marketed to you. I really, really enjoyed it. Interesting. It feels like taken right out of the 80s, just with modern animation, but I think either one, honestly, either one for two different, very different reasons, but I think you'll enjoy both.
All right, thanks for all your hard work in the trenches.
Yeah, man, still got more to do, but next week I'll have the rest of it rounded up.
Yeah, I'll let you know what I end up checking out. Okay, well, you mentioned something that made me think of something about how Corinne kind of blitzed through My Hero, and I have also blitzed through some manga.
Yeah, dude.
On the trip, and subway stations and flights and all that. I found like my go-to way to kill time was to read the Jujutsu Kaisen manga.
You finished?
And then I finished it. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
So I thought a lot about how I will answer this. And, I could have, like, a very, like, thorough, in-depth answer that's, like, technically spoiler-free. But I also think that, like, the way I talk about it in itself is kind of a spoiler. You know what I mean? If I talk about, it isn't an absolute classic the way X show is or Y show is. You know what I mean? So I don't really want
I already heard from Leanna. She was like, that was like all the hot air was let out right at the last second.
Yeah. And
she was very underwhelmed and a little bummed by how it went off.
Yeah. So, but Leanna's not us, right? Like for all we know, we share her taste in a lot of ways. But like, maybe who knows? Maybe I wholeheartedly disagreed. But that's neither here nor there. What I will say is, I did have a lot of this spoiled. Not a lot, but like some pretty big chunks spoiled. And like not because I was looking for it, just like, for whatever reason, I caught a few strays. I have some takeaways. I'll say that it was fun to blitz. It was fun to read, but also like I don't know if I've ever read that much manga in my life. So like that there was some novelty in the experience.
New and exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think you bought an iPad specifically for this, and like it's great to read on a fucking iPad. It's a very fun experience.
Yeah.
So like I enjoyed it. I was shocked at how much more there is still to go and how long certain arcs are. Okay. I think obviously I think the complaint that you could get even just watching the existing anime, and I think nobody will be surprised by this take, is that it can get a little convoluted at times. Like the power system can get a little convoluted.
The biggest complaint, yeah.
Yeah. And I think that would, like, if you have that complaint, that will continue. I will also note the anime has done a pretty good job. Like when you're reading it, it's a little long-winded, and they find ways with the use of the narrator and stuff like that to like kind of explain what's going on. Okay. But there are absolutely moments where it like gets away from itself, and it's like, what are we doing here? I think that's probably what like Leanna's referring to. Like, and there are certain parts that kind of drag. There are plenty of twists and big plot reveals and developments left in the story, which is like exciting, that I'm excited to see on screen. But I will not be surprised. I'm really curious on how much of the arc they'll adapt, if it's the whole thing, how many episodes it is, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if they do the Demon Slayer thing and finish up with a movie or two or something like that. It made me, reading through it, I was like, this is so much content, but it's kind of all part of one or two arcs. Like, how do you do this? I don't know. I won't give a like I'm super satisfied or I'm not, because like I feel like that's like, you know what I mean? I don't want
here's what I will ask you. The next arc.
Yeah.
Are you,
which is called, I think they've called
the culling
game or season or whatever.
Are you hyped for that now? Or
Yeah.
Now having read it, like, what is immediately next to come? Are you excited for that?
Yeah, for sure. I think it'll be good TV. I think we'll have fun. Assuming, and this is a bold assumption,
Yeah.
there were a lot of questions coming out of season 1 into season 2. Like, can you do that again?
Yeah.
And then to be fair, they did. Like, they really delivered season 2.
It's weird.
Animation quality.
It's so funny looking back on seasons 1 and 2. Like, it is the same show, but it's actually crazy how differently they did it.
Yeah.
And not just in like animation styles, but like kind of like the presentation.
Yeah.
Again, that's the essentially like, the Shibuya incident was like essentially a bottle.
Yeah.
Right? Like, literally, like they were kind of trapped in there. So it's a little easier to kind of, the time flow is different than season 1, where it was, over significant periods. But yeah, I don't know.
But
such a different show with being the same.
We haven't seen a trailer. I don't think there's a release date. Like, part of the reason with the big, delay between S1 and 2 was the movie, and then the 2 arcs, and like changing of all the character models, and it was like, fuck, are they going to do that again for season 3? I hope not.
I can't imagine.
So anyway, I hope it's like a similar level of team and quality of team and all that. And if it is, which is a bold assumption, I think we're in store for like really, really fun TV. And
Sweet.
You and I will enjoy it, and it'll be a great thing to watch week to week. And also, like, me, like, my memory is for shit. I bet I'll forget a lot of these things that are to come, but I think it'll make... it has potential to be... I don't want to say as good as a Shibuya incident arc, but like there's like lots of really fun shit coming.
Cool.
And yeah, some crazy twists and all that, and I'm looking forward to talking about them in depth on the pod.
Fucking A.
Okay. Okay. How about this for a segue? Speaking of crazy twists, do you want to talk about The Last of Us season 2?
Let's.
So, are you caught up?
I didn't watch last night's, but that doesn't matter. It's
right. And you are, because you played the games as well. But so, because the main twist, here's your big spoiler warning. It's already a week old. Is
from a game that is almost 5 years old, 5-6 years old.
Yeah. Last of Us season 2, episode 2. There's your spoiler warning. So we watched that in Japan, and then we watched episode 3 last night. But yeah, the spoiler, last warning, is they kill my boy. They ice Joel. I went into, I
tried to be there when the game came up.
Yeah, dude, I had no spoilers going. I had no idea.
Good for you. They did a really good job keeping this shit. I think kudos to the internet. They are not always on their best behavior. They're especially not right now with the season, but
yes,
the keeping shit to themselves.
Yeah, not bad.
Credit where credit is due.
Yeah, credit where... Yeah. That episode, episode 2, reminded me, and I know I'm not alone in making this comparison, but it is because it's kind of recent, but it reminded me of Hard Home, the episode Hard Home from Game of Thrones, where the Night's Watch and the wildlings are ambushed, and you get this whole sequence of a small unprepared city being under attack. And
not in the game. Didn't love that personally.
Say that again?
That's not from the game.
Oh,
that was a TV creation. That was probably. This is probably a good time to jump in. Like I think I'm good on this.
Meaning,
I'm just like there's other stuff that I'm watching right now.
Oh really? So you're like played the game out?
I'll when I have time I'll catch up on the episodes, but I'm not scheduling an appointment to watch this on Sunday nights. No.
Wild.
I just it's funny because I saw Bronson this weekend, and he did play the games, and he's very excited for the show. And we were talking about it, and I told him he gave the same reaction. He's like, "What do you mean?" And I'm like,
"Yeah,
I've seen." There was a lot of when the second game came out, there was a lot of controversy.
Yes, I remember that.
A lot of people were like, it was like a pretty 50-50 split. I was on the side. I thoroughly enjoyed the second game, and I thought it did an excellent job of just not redoing the first game, and it really played on our sensibilities of the genre itself and like kind of the story beats, and it really tried to do its own thing, and it did a phenomenal job. And this is probably where my gripe is. It's in relation to Abby. In the game, there is a lot more cryptic of like, who is this girl? We don't know that she has any relation to the Doctor. Like,
oh, they let that out of the bag early.
Fuck, dude, they blew their
Right away.
load so fucking hard. And I understand it's the machinations of TV and like
different storytelling medium.
I get that, but it's like for me. The scene of like, you know, like I'm not saying like when she killed Joe, I was like, yeah, they did it right, like the right way. Like it was brutal in the game and it wasn't brutal in the TV. Like kudos for them for doing that. But they took all the agency of like, give me a chance to fucking hate this character and prove to me why you're rooting for. Because in the game, I again it's my opinion, and a lot of people argue that point. I was won over by Abby as a character. Well, after in my mind, I knew she killed Joel.
Yeah,
and I knew what she did, but you know, it's so funny because like I think of Gabby from Attack on Titan in a similar way. Heinous acts in the beginning, there's nothing we can do, but by the end, she's just as much as a survivor of this world and the situation, and she has been tortured and suffering like everyone else. And they do that with, like, I guess Abby would be the original version of that in my mind, but I don't know. I think they took all her agency away. I think the performances are great. Everyone is fucking bitching and moaning about poor Bella Ramsey.
Yeah,
like just it's a fucking like I do understand, like just it's the internet. There's hate. I get that. She's doing a fine job. Yeah, Caitlin Deaver is doing a fine job. Like I get it. They couldn't like turn Caitlin Deaver into a fucking like 200-pound gorilla there.
Yeah,
like Abby was in the game, but like who cares? Like
yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna watch it. I feel like the biggest misstep they did is revealing who Abby really is.
Right. Okay.
They really, really, really like should have given us the chance. Also, like
perhaps there's a reason for it. Maybe
there could be. Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. Let's be honest. I'm gonna watch it, but I was so they had killed Joel and like they pulled it off. Like the whole set piece with like him saving her and her trying to get it, like the chain link fence, dude, straight out of the game.
I know.
Just as anxious the other night when I watched.
That was amazing sequence.
Amazing how they did. Like they really set into fear, and then they just like poof. It's like you killed my dad, and it's like I'm not trying to belittle the situation, but like I just. You know, like, and the whole dynamic of the group is not right. I think they're really underselling that group's dynamic, and I don't know. It's just there's a lot of fun, interesting things to see, and I also don't like that they're splitting this into 2 seasons.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
What? So how many of the episodes will we get?
I think it's going to be the same. It's going to be a full season, but
but they're going to do a season 3, which finishes up the story of Game 2.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Maybe I didn't forgot. Okay, well, I will just say...
Sorry, I went long-winded there.
No.
Yeah.
One note as a non-gamer is, which I'm sure you felt and everybody felt, or maybe it didn't really land for you because of like the deviation they took, but I will note, like, I remember just watching this with Sam, and we're both just sitting there, and like you realize just the way it goes that Joel's probably not going to get out of this one. Mm-hmm. And it was a pretty helpless feeling. I got to say, you're like, no, this isn't going to happen, is it? Mm-hmm. Like, that was a very effective and very sad piece of storytelling. Because I don't know how it was in the game, but like in the pilot of this season, like, this Abby character lays out her plan, like, we're gonna fucking kill this guy. And, okay, well, he's got an enemy, that's not new. But when he finds himself kind of at their mercy, and you're like, no, but he's gonna figure it out, right? And then he doesn't. You're like, oh, like, it was very sad. It was very well done.
In the game, it was a touch colder because, like,
but you didn't know about her motive.
No, you didn't know her motive, and then also, like, there was an agency. Like there was agency escaping the horde of the infected, but like there was no, like, Jackson was not, like, you know, under. I think Joel was worried, and like there was like him like looking around and like, oh, like, can I see, you know, I should be able to see the city. Like she opened, like, before, no words are spoken in the game. Like he turns around and she blows his knee out with the shotgun.
Oh yeah,
and it's just like, whoa, like what just happened? Like it was like truly like there was no like kind of preamping, like, you know, like Joel this, kill Joel that, like, you know what I mean? So like, but she doesn't reveal herself. Like, she literally just pounds the life out of him, and with giving no real reason, and it's just her letting it out.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'll never forgive this character.
Of
Like,
course.
yeah, like I can't wait to get back in control of Ellie and go murder this girl. You know,
Right.
and I don't know. It's the machinations of TV, and they got to keep viewers, and they got to do it the way they do.
It's a different medium, right?
It just
It's like, remind yourself, you know, like
it's like why
the Nick Offerman episode didn't happen in the game. It's one of the best pieces of television.
Exactly. Like, I'm not faulting the show. I do not think it's bad. It just yeah. I wish they rose to the challenge of like keeping people in suspense of who is this, and like, you know, like, again, like the comments of the nurses of like, yeah, like, you just like killed him, you know, cold blood, and then you walked away kind of thing, like that. You know, it's just, there's like a lot of like little pieces that are kind of being left out, and anyways, it's neither here nor there. See, now we're talking about like, yeah, I'm obviously gonna watch it, but
I
but
will
like,
say, you know,
I'm torn. I am torn.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Because you're not alone in that. You know, you mentioned the Bella Ramsey stuff, and just like how critical the internet is being. I will say, you know, I generally try and stay away from this shit anyway, but I will say she has a great episode 3.
Yeah.
You know, because we joked, Sam and I were like, why do we even watch this fucking show anymore at the end of the episode 2? Just because Pedro was so great, you know. But
yeah.
But anyway, episode 3 is really, really good. I was very impressed with it. And I've been very curious about how they cover quite a bit of ground in episode 3, and also just Bella Ramsey has some very good character moments, and there's some really beautiful shots in it.
It's funny. The only thing I've seen from the episode that like I know I would probably not like. Is it true in the 3rd episode that Tommy's just like, yeah, I'm gonna hang out here? Like, I'm not.
Not really.
Okay.
I would say that's definitely an oversimplification.
Okay, that's what I'm seeing a lot. Because like in the game, it's like I'm about to go stand on business, like immediately. Like, he's gone.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. No, everyone's like, where's Tommy? Oh, he went. Like.
Okay. Well, then that's different.
Yeah.
That's different than what happens. But I won't. I'll let you see it.
Okay.
And come to your own conclusion.
But damn.
Yeah. Okay.
It did hit though. Were you guys like just like blown away? Yeah.
Episode 2.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like
that's cool.
No, but honestly,
it is cool for other people to see that now. Like,
Yeah.
it was like in the moment, like we were just kind of like, what is happening right now?
Yeah, that's what I'll tell. Like, clearly, it sounds like obviously the way you described it. You know, she didn't monologue before killing him and all that. Yeah. And I get your point of view on like, hey, like they kind of let the air out of the balloon. But what I will tell you is like in the moment, you see what they're doing. Like, yeah, they're trying to humanize her, but you don't care because you're so upset and scared about what's about to happen. So that when, you know, you're like, yeah, okay, fine, she had just cause, but she just killed the main fucking character. Yeah. So like you're still just filled with vitriol and like, yeah, fine, she'll be in the show, but like we got to kill this bitch, right? Like that's the current sentiment for sure. So I'm curious to see how they handle it. But yeah, it was one of those. It was I don't want to say Red Wedding-esque, but it was
by
was
surprise
close.
in comparison, it's probably similar.
A title character was killed brutally by a character that was seeking out revenge to kill the title character. Like that never happens, and it was somehow not fucking spoiled. Like that's pretty crazy. So yeah, this was a big one.
On positive things, I gotta say my favorite thing so far. Also, the stuff with like Joel killing Eugene. That's a machination of the show.
Yeah. That's
not a game thing. I really don't love what they're doing. I don't get what Catherine O'Hara is doing right now. That's a new thing I don't love. But in the first episode or the pilot season 2 opener, the whole scene of the dance is shot for shot from the game.
I saw some side by sides. Pretty cool.
Dave, not even like entire dialogue, like it's like they just reenacted that scene from the game, like just shots. That was really cool to see.
They put because the girl who plays Ellie sings the song for the thing.
In the closing of episode 2. Yeah,
that's pretty neat too.
Yeah, that was in the game too. Like her.
No, I know, pretty neat. But, it's cool, man. I know they're deviating here and there, but instead of getting a complete quote reimagination, we're getting a pretty close adaptation, and it's just funny because they're announcing there have been some announcements for the Harry Potter HBO casting, and like, it's also, but it's everyone's excited. Yay, 10 years of Harry Potter again. Like that's going to be fun. But it's also like the showrunner has also gone on record being like, I'm not really interested in a page by page ad. Like I want to do my own thing, and everyone's like, wait, what? Like, HBO is giving you 10 years, and you're going to be like, oh, let's just fucking. I don't know. It's like it sounds like a bit of a nightmare.
Yeah.
If it could be half as loyal as Last of Us has been, like I think people would be pretty freaking excited. So I don't know.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to see how it goes. Did you ever watch Daredevil Born Again? I wrapped that up. I'll just make a note.
I heard it was a great finale. I was talking to Bronson about it. He loved it. He thought it was capped off great.
They split that into 2 seasons as well. So there's 9 episodes. They're gonna do another 9, I think, in around this time next year. Anyway,
okay.
If you're a Daredevil fan, I don't think I realized how much I missed and enjoyed the Netflix series because we were watching it, and I was like, oh right, like all the hallway fights and the stuff with Kingpin, and I think above everything else, the Daredevil series on Netflix and on Disney Plus has really just been like an exercise in like Charlie Cox's The Fucking Man.
He is the man.
That guy, it's funny how it shakes out sometimes, but like easily could have had his own movie. Easily could have carried that character inside the MCU with everybody had the timing worked a little bit better. But this is good enough.
Speaking of which, you see the reviews for Thunderbolts came out today?
Yeah, it's looking pretty. I mean, so far, it's I don't know if they're early reviews or what, but it seems pretty positive.
Well, it's like Variety and all them, like the trades. It seems like a good. I think it feels like it's a stepping stone they needed. But so I am trying to loop this back into Daredevil. Do you feel like the way it ended was like an even keeled stone for them to kind of, keep the TV series up, or like is it kind of?
It feels like they've told 50% of the story.
Okay,
which is not a good thing or a bad thing. But it feels like you're exactly like halfway through with the story that they want to tell. Like I don't know, like you've seen like posters and stuff, like like roughly who the villain is and stuff.
Oh, I know Kingpin's in it. But...
Yeah, so the one critique I have is it's like it's a bit push and pull, because I think with the Kingpin stuff they're doing something new-ish and topical-ish that is like very much kind of politically relevant today, and it's interesting to see them take a swing at that, and it's definitely better than when they did that lazy shit in like the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, for example. Like they have really made a better account of themselves from a storytelling perspective, like through Matt Murdock's point of view and Kingpin's. But it's very, we'll call it like politically topical, but it's like way better than I thought it would be for being on Disney. There are absolutely moments that are a little cheesy. Don't get me wrong, but like it's better than I thought.
Is it like Matt Murdock or is it Daredevil? Because I saw there's like a lot of conflicting of like, oh, like we wanted a Daredevil show, we got like Courtroom of the Week stuff.
No, I would.
Okay.
No, I'm happy with the balance.
Okay.
Especially keeping in mind there's another 9 episodes coming. But all of that said, so like I enjoy that part, but I will say like we've spent a lot of time now with Kingpin. Like I think there's probably a lot of material in the comics on like who else maybe could have been involved. Like they are returning to the well a lot. Like just in terms of like they're really banking on their history, on your history.
They're in stabilized mode. Like they're not. Yeah, they don't want to play around with what they don't need to right now.
Yeah. So some part of it feels like they're a little risk averse, which is fine to your point about being in stabilization mode. So anyway, I enjoyed it. It was fun to like watch a Marvel thing and actually like it.
Well, I'm wrapping up some live action stuff there shortly. So I think maybe if I have some space, once I get through all the pilots and I figure out what I want to watch, maybe I'll jump into that. But
anything else from you? I got a couple pieces of news, but gossip mostly.
I just want to talk the Pitt for a couple of minutes.
Oh yeah, so this is the HBO medical drama.
Yeah, Max or whatever it is. It doesn't say. I don't even know if it's like HBO proper.
I don't know.
But nothing much other to say. Like, it's so funny. My only association to medical dramas is in high school I had mono, and I was off for like 2.5 weeks and like physically ill, and the like literally what was in the DVD player was season 1, disc 1 of Grey's Anatomy.
Right.
And I remember getting to the end of the disc and like, kind of like rapping on the wall, and like my mom coming down, and I'm like, put in disc 2. Like, and I watched, and then she had like, had like the first, at that time, the first 5 seasons on DVD.
That's so nostalgic. Those foldable
Yeah.
DVD collections.
Yeah.
We had the Friends ones.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, same idea. Yeah. And I remember watching that and like never touched it again. Yeah. But like this is not the same thing. Like this is they're taking it seriously. It's post COVID and
sure.
Like no soundtrack. It's not like a drama. Like it's a drama, but it's not like a romantic. It's not like a soap opera.
Sure.
Like there's stuff that comes up and like it just feels very natural and inherent.
Okay.
To the real world. The main dude, Noah Wiley. Just the most handsome man on TV. Like I just can't take my eyes off him. Like, look at this hot piece of ass. Every time he comes on screen, he's so good. But he was on ER and like like this, which is like kind of there's a lot of court stuff going, like suing going on right now with this show.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, so
there's controversy about what?
So Michael Crichton, the author of Jurassic Park and all that, he created ER. He wrote, that was the first like 4 TV thing he wrote.
I did not know that. That's a great piece
of
trivia.
It's under their IP umbrella, and so the estate and his wife, he's since passed, but his wife is trying to say that, this started as like an ER sequel of sorts.
Yeah.
And, the HBO or Warner's is like, no, it has nothing to do with it. And she's like, it's like a he said, she said of like, you just changed the name, changed it to a different city, and like, and her saying, because Noah Wiley, the main character, he was like a big staple on the original ER. So they're like, she's like, oh yeah, like you got ER people on your show, like it's clearly like a spiritual thing. Right. Essentially, the estate is trying to say like all medical dramas are like RIP and like everyone knows this money kind of thing. Right. It just seems like greedy lawyers to me, but
estate lawsuits are always so fucking filthy.
I know.
So gross.
In reading it, it feels very gross, but I'm almost done.
In the creative field. Like, what are people doing?
I know.
Reminds me of like the Ed Sheeran lawsuits. Like, you can't copyright a fucking chord sequence. Anyway, sorry.
Oh. What was that?
You didn't know that?
No.
It was do you remember the what was it? Was it Marvin Gaye estate? Is he dead?
I think so. Oh yeah.
Yeah, they sued Pharrell and for that the Blurred Lines, Robin Thicke, Pharrell Williams.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That song made millions, and they lost in court for having a similar chord and melodic sequence to a Marvin Gaye song. And they lost all of the money that the song made went to the estate.
Oh shit.
And then the same lawyer who won that then went after Ed Sheeran. And the Ed Sheeran side annihilated them in court.
Really?
Yeah, and he just was like, okay, so you're saying my song. There's a great little Howard Stern clip on it that I'll share with you about. Like Ed Sheeran like took the stand apparently. This isn't on tape, but he showed on Stern what he did. He's like, okay, so here's a song that your client or whatever made, right? And it's bum ba dum bum 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 bum, and here's my song, and it's bum ba dum bum 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 bum, right? And now he goes, now here's 30 other top 1 songs that use the same chord sequence, right? Yeah. With just a slight variation.
Sure.
So should we go after all 30 of those? And he basically just like taught like very basic music theory 101 of like, you can't copyright notes. Like that's not how it works.
Yeah.
And anyway, it just made me think of.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. And it like he explains it, he's quite well. He's obviously well suited for it.
Yeah.
But anyway, it reminds me of like, we made a medical drama once, and therefore,
yes, it's exactly what it is. It's like, why aren't you going after Grey's Anatomy? Why aren't you going after every Chicago Hope or like all these shows? Like it's just the Resident.
Field,
like
it's so gross.
Yeah, I know. It's just. But it sounds like this isn't It's the Crichton estate's not first rodeo with this kind of thing.
Sure.
So, but to say the Pitt, the whole season, it's 15 episodes, and it takes place over a 15-hour shift.
Would you believe that I was pretty sure this was about Formula One for the first month that it was out?
You see the trailers for that? That looks sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I don't know. Just an enthralling show.
How far in are you?
12 episodes. I got 3 left. Yeah. It's like, I was like, you can't watch this around me. Like, I'm going to have awful dreams today. Like, really,
so she's not in on it.
No, not her speed.
Would you say, is it like rated R, gore?
Yeah. Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
All right, we're gonna put a drill in this dude's head to let out air, and it's like, yeah, it's pretty cool. What, dude? You watch The Substance, you'll be fine.
Yeah, but
no, I'm just really enjoying it. I think it's a great cast. I found out Bryan Cranston's daughter is one of the main characters.
really
Never could have guessed it was a relation, but it is.
interesting.
And yeah, no, just really, really, really well made show, and they really kind of, I don't know. It's just there's so many. It's crazy how many subplots and like they fit into a show. But I guess that is like a hospital experience. Like, you know, like
There's a lot going on.
Well, because it's an emergency room, right? Like it's
Right.
they're the busiest one it takes place in Pittsburgh. It's why the show's called the Pitt.
Okay.
And it's like the de facto name, the staff call the, it's like it's mentioned once. It's not like it's like commonly referred to. Like it's not like overused like the name of the show or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, it's just like, you know, they really hit home. Like, you know, there's a scenario with this one mom is worried about, she like fakes getting sick and gets, you know, because her son has to bring her in because she's been throwing up, and she's worried that like he's going to harm somebody because, you know, she thinks she found a kill list in his room and all that, and they really kind of wrestle with the fact of like, do we just like ruin this kid's life and like just, you know, like just send that with no, you know, but like the lines of like, well, think about the women on the list and like, you know, and how their lives could be affected by if we don't act on this. And there's just like a lot of like, there's just like a lot of morality in the show. Like they really toe the line of like, nothing in this world is black or white, and just the types of all sorts of people that you know, again, like the emergency room is for everybody, right? Like, you can find all walks of life. Yeah, and I think they really hit that home with this show, and it's like an action movie. Like it's so well done, and you know, like it's you know, like I'm sure like you call it like a marketing thing, but literally countless people in medical fields have been interviewed about this, and they're like, it's spooky about how accurate it is. Like they do not pull punches. This is not like,
reminds me of like how people talked about The Bear when it first came out.
Yeah, very similar. So it's
visceral.
You know, yeah, very visceral. But it's a really good show. If you like,
sounds like I mean, it's been getting hype, so it's glad to hear that you feel it's
yeah. And I just like the whole conceit. Like it's like 24. Like every episode is 1 hour of a shift.
Cool. Real time storytelling is pretty cool.
That's so awesome. It's really good.
Interesting.
But yeah, you said you got some news. Let's go.
I mean, nothing really crazy. Like one piece of gossip, and also just like, it sounds like we should see this fucking Sinners movie, huh?
I did see that.
You did see that.
Leanna and I went on a date night, opening night. I wanted this movie to succeed, and I'm glad I'm a part of the movement to make it a thing. Dude, it's phenomenal. It's really good.
Yeah. So Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Haley Steinfeld.
Who?
Haley Steinfeld.
Yes.
In it. Delroy Lindo in a crushing performance.
Who?
Delroy Lindo.
Oh yeah. The one thing I was going to bring up about this, just that the industry side. I'm going to try and see this, by the way,
you should.
Sooner rather than later in theaters. But I thought, have you heard about the Ryan Coogler deal he caught with the studio about it?
Mm-hmm. The 25-year ownership. Yeah,
very interesting. That he gets the IP back after 25 years of the studio owning it, which apparently Tarantino also got for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
There's a lot of the comparisons and this and that. Like the thing I didn't understand was like the hit piece that all the trades like Variety and all that like put out on the movie. And it's like, why does anyone want this not to succeed? I don't get that. Like, it's, you know, and I had seen it.
I think I haven't seen the movie yet. So
yeah, okay.
What I've heard, what I think, you know, what I've heard people that I trust talk about, I'm mostly talking about the guys in the big picture and stuff, or whatever the deal is like, and what Reddit, of course, seems to think, the hive mind, is like, maybe these publications and studios are a little bit threatened by this deal and not stoked.
To be fair, the studios own the like Variety and Hollywood Reporter. That's owned by some of the studios. So like I can see, you know, it's not hard to make those red yarn lines.
And it's also from my basic understanding of the plot, like it's also kind of poetic that Coogler would get the IP back.
Mm-hmm.
And there's kind of a direct relation to the story he tells, as far as I understand it. But I'll see. It doesn't sound that crazy to me. But yeah, the hit pieces are fucking weird. It's
so weird.
Every now and then the industry rears its ugly head, huh? Like, I don't know.
It was so funny. I was reading an article on It wasn't one of the big ones. It was like not Engadget, that's tech. Anyway, I'll send you the link later. I have it saved somewhere.
Hollywood Reporter.
No, it's not. I think it wasn't the big ones. It was like, I think it was like an article on Box Office Mojo.
Oh yeah.
But they had a stat of like, there hasn't been this weekend or last weekend, 4 movies all had $20 million weekends, and there hasn't been a weekend like that since 2007.
Jeez.
So like it shows that like there's a hunger, and it's all like, I think with the exception of Minecraft, I think it was all like newer IP stuff or like original IP. So like there is a hunger in it. So like it flies in the fucking face of like these fucking hit pieces that are like, Dave, it's such a cool movie. Like,
yeah, the reviews are
it's so cool,
pretty outlandish. Like, you don't get this often when people are like, stop what you're doing, etc.
It's good. It's not like it's so funny. Like, I remember I was talking to someone at work, and they're like, and like they never go to the movies, and they went and seen Oppenheimer, and they're like, boom, but like, because I had recommended, I was like, hey, you should go see it. Like it's a once in a lifetime, like big. That
was a piece of like movie history that we were part of.
It was like an event. Like you should go see it. And
Barbenheimer weekend,
all that stuff, and went back and blew his mind. And so anyway, and he was like talking. He's like, oh, like I'm hearing a lot about the Sinners thing there, and I'm like, like it's not the same type of movie, and the scale is different, but like it's just as unique, and like it's I don't know, it's just it's cool to see like everyone, like people that don't watch a lot of movies, or like their attention is only on like Marvel's been eating up the space for so much time, and it's just nice to see like just a fucking really well made movie with believable characters, and just
we've been having more
such attention
lately
to detail. It's so nice to see, like especially on a Hollywood scale. Like it's, we've had tons of great indies over the years, like the A24's been,
I remember like when Saltburn had its moment, you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
we've been having some good ones. The only other piece of news, this was like in the trades, but it's relevant to us just because we've been talking about it for so long, is director Matt Reeves may drop out of the Batman 2 if Robert Pattinson isn't available to film this year, according to insider Jeff Snyder, who cited that this is a personal issue for Reeves, who wants to move forward with his career and is frustrated by the timeline. If he does drop out, Warner Brothers is likely to scrap the film entirely and focus solely on the James Gunn DCU.
Fuck me.
So it sounds like...
Not the news I thought you were going to bring up. That just bummed me the fuck out.
Yeah, sorry. It sounds like, Gunn hasn't... Like, okay, this is... I don't have the full picture, but just, like, piecing together what I've heard over the last little while, Gunn, like, hasn't... And to be fair, this is, like, kind of a good rule, because, like, one of James Gunn's big, like, thesis statements when he took control was, like, you guys can't keep making movies that don't have finished scripts. This is how you keep ending up with shit movies. Like, you got to do it the old school way and, like, write the fucking movie first. And I don't care if you had a great first one. Like, you don't just you don't get to figure it out as you go.
Sure.
And apparently the script, I don't know if they have a script yet for Batman 2. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Some people have said that Matt Reeves was having, like, real life personal issues. But maybe it's done now. If it is, I don't know if that has been confirmed or greenlit by James Gunn or not, but it apparently was very close. But Robert Pattinson is like a fucking A-list actor with other shit on the, like, he's being looked at for this Dune 3 movie. He's in some other shit. Like, he's a in-demand guy. And like maybe the script has taken so long that like maybe he's booked for 2025, which would not be surprising at all. Like
no, someone like him, definitely not.
Yeah, so if like, if you finish the script in February and you say, hey Robert, are you good to go for June? Like, that seems pretty unlikely that he wouldn't have. Anyway, so I wonder what the fuck the deal is. And it also wouldn't be surprising either if like maybe DC and Gunn were making it maybe kind of intentionally difficult to make this movie because they know it just further splinters their new universe.
Then you see the stuff coming out of CinemaCon in Vegas a couple of weeks ago, and like people weren't like fucking blown away by Superman either. Like what was shown there.
Remember
so, like,
my early prediction, Grant.
I know. I'm not. I know. I at this point I feel like I lost that one there, but
wow, we're ways away.
We're ways away. July.
Yeah. Oh, maybe that's what. Maybe because the prediction went to see that one in theaters. We'll see.
Yeah.
But no, I know I'm bummed out too because like, you always want to be part of a new Batman, and the whole Batfleck experiment was just such a mess, and that fucking Batman movie was so goddamn good.
I don't think. So here's my 2 cents on Gunn taking the reins on Batman. I don't think he would direct it. I think they would bring someone in, but like I don't think it's his style and it's in his image to go small. I think
So to be clear, like they wouldn't take over the Robert Pattinson.
No.
They just
even then
kill it.
No, but what I'm saying is like whatever their take on Batman is, I don't think they're gonna. That's just not it's not Gunn's MO.
Yeah,
even like his indie fucking slasher flicks and like borderline gore films there. Like it was always big and it was boom and it was that like that was the success of the Batman. Like there was others like similar to it, but like
it was local.
And even like Nolan, like there was like a threading of the needle of the local and the big and the bombastic, and I can't see this DC like it was so funny. I was talking to Devin about it. I was like, you're gonna try to tell me the guy that's trying to stuff and make this CG Superman dog, they're not gonna try and like keep a similar tone like in Batman, or they're gonna try. I don't know. I don't like. I know they're trying things with like they say they're doing a Swamp Thing movie.
Yeah.
Which
they also when they announced the DCU movie, they also said we're doing our own Batman, and it's going to be the Brave and the Bold, where Robin is his son. It's some comic line.
Yeah, Damian Wayne. Yeah.
But then when he was pressed on this like a couple months ago, people were asking where the fuck's the Pattinson movie. He was like, that one's getting close, but still hasn't started production. And then they go, what about the Brave and the Bold? He goes, yeah, that script needs more work. We're not touching it till it's ready. So it's like. I mean, he kind of has two Batman movies in parallel that are both not moving, but one's in his universe and one isn't. But at least for the one that isn't, like, it had a lot going for it. In that there's demand. People loved Pattinson. People loved Matt Reeves' take on it. So I don't know. I really hope they figure that shit the fuck out. Pattinson was in the news talking shit about it, being like, I was supposed to be like the young Batman, and I'm now older than Christian Bale was. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what the fuck they're doing. It's kind of wild, eh?
That is wild. Wow, Christian Bale's looked like a 42-year-old man since he was 17. So
yeah, he's a skin suit person. Yeah. He's like he's not really a person to compare yourself to.
Anyway. One last little bit of news. Did you see? It's so funny because it only pops up on my algorithm because you talk about it. That Marvel's trying to coax their way out of being subpoenaed over the Justin Baldoni and Ryan Reynolds case.
No.
Yeah.
Really? Because Baldoni did he asked for documents, right?
So everyone went after Marvel saying because he's leaning on the nice pool thing. And,
yes.
But
which is interesting.
Which is
man, that guy's on scorched earth, huh?
Yeah. It's just so funny. Like none of these people are innocent. Like they're all like super annoying.
This is it's similar to the when everyone was so excited to watch this Johnny Depp Amber Heard case, and I'm not making light of it. It was dark, but I think what also became clear as you watched it is like both of these people fucking suck. Mm-hmm. Like this isn't it's like, oh my god, what awful people, and that's not making light of any at all about abuse allegations, but is it surprising that Ryan Reynolds is out of his goddamn mind with his ego, and him and Blake are this power couple that trample over everybody, and this Justin guy may be a fucking pervert as well? Like, I believe all those things are true.
I believe all of it, yeah.
Anyway, keep going.
Yeah. But no, it's just funny. Like, Marvel's trying to... Their whole point is like, oh yeah, like, we have important documents, that we need to keep private. And like, like they try to blame it on this slate, but I understand, like, any lawyer with his salt is like, you can't let that monkey out of the bag there. Like that's like once that's open, everyone's going to see everything.
Yeah, you don't fight.
But what do you mean there's 4 Fantastic Four movies already lined up ready to go?
Did that actually come out, or you're saying that would be the kind of
thing but that's like it would just like it would deep dive. They find out exactly how much the deal with Robert Downey Jr. and officially started filming yesterday. That was cool to see.
Doomsday?
Yeah.
Well, kind of neat.
Yeah,
we'll see how that goes. I wonder if they're gonna fucking bomb. I'm taking a big swing with this. They're really risking it for the biscuit.
Yeah, those boys haven't made a good movie in a while since
the
last time they were with Marvel.
Back the Russos, RDJ.
That's what I'm saying. Like the Russos, like they haven't done anything of significance.
Yeah, I feel bad for saying it, but it was a phrase by one of the guys on the on the big picture. It's like they're not filmmakers, they're stewards of IP. And it was like, ooh, what a mean thing to say, and how incredibly accurate.
That's a Chris Ryan joint.
It is, yeah. Stewards of IP, because like they made some of the best MCU films ever, and then it was like, okay, these guys are going to get to do whatever the fuck they want, and then they did, and it wasn't very good. Funny how that works.
When you fumble the bag, you fumble it.
Yeah. All right.
You got anything else, Dave?
No, man. This is good to be back.
Did you want to talk about the studio? Because I know you really wanted to, or you want to save that for next time.
Let's save it for next time, because I actually haven't seen anything since episode 2, and like I just need a whole refresher on where I am.
I did watch episode 2 last night.
Oh shit! Do you want to talk about it?
I can wait.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll call that a tease.
Okay.
Post show episode 143 in a couple weeks. We'll talk. We'll do a bit more of a deep dive on the studio. I'm way behind on it, and yeah. Okay. Thank you for listening. I haven't plugged our socials this whole time. Be very grateful for that. Past Dave, my future Dave, is going to do it a lot in the intro to make up for this. But please follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Subscribe to the podcast on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you listen to podcasts. We're here relatively bi-weekly when we're not traveling internationally, which... jokes aside, is very rare. So yeah, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time. Grant, go ahead and say the thing.
Bye, guys.
Cheers.